Welcome back, everyone. Well, there's a new statewide collaboration called WISE that aims to reduce the stigma of mental illness.
New evidence actually suggests that coming out is one way to have a positive impact in the home, at school, the workplace, and in healthcare. And joining us now is Sue McKenzie with Rogers in Health to tell us more about it. And I like that coming out expression because we're not talking about gay or lesbian. We're talking about speaking out about mental illness.
Yes, some people don't like that word. Some people call it strategic disclosure, but it really gets down to the research that says the best way to deal with the stigma or the negative ideas or shameful feelings that people have is just to get to know people with a mental illness.
Talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrong perceptions out there. I think people are really afraid of the word mental illness and of the actual diagnosis of several mental illnesses. Why do you think people are so scared? Is it because we've just started putting words to it?
I think partially we've started putting words to it, but we've also had a number of years of the tough stories and not a lot of years of the stories of recovery. And so that's really what we're focused on. Is a lot of people do really, really well. The majority, vast majority, do really, really well. And so we're wanting to share those stories, and research actually shows that when you hear that, you become more hopeful if you're the person challenged, and the people around you become more relaxed. Like in another illness, okay, this is what's happening to us. This is a path we can take. There's lots of options. There's hope. And, you know, when we think about lots of things like suicide, it's often people who haven't been able to see hope, and we can share that when people share their stories of recovery.
I think that's a big deal. You have an example of a story to share with us. We want to do that in a second, but first, what is it in your opinion that works? And I know that you've worked with, because I was reading about it, a nationally known stigma researcher. I never knew there was such a thing.
Yeah.
But in working with this and doing this research, what have you found that actually works?
So Patrick Corrigan is an internationally known stigma researcher, and he and people from around the world are really pointing to this notion that when someone with a mental illness who's in recovery is able to stand authentically and speak about themselves, all of who they are, and have mental illness be a part of that, and not define totally this is who I am, but it's a part of who I am. It's a journey I've traveled, and I'm wise because of that journey, just like with so many other experiences we have in life. That changes how others think about it. We used to think that if we taught people a lot about the brain illness and information that's good to have, that it would change how people feel about having someone marry into their family or living next door or working with them. And we found out it really didn't do that. It made people willing to say, well, you should have access to medicine or therapy, but it didn't change how they really felt about people. And it's when we get to know people that we do. So we're doing that through video, because not everyone can come to a seminar and hear someone speak. So we're capturing people's stories on video and sharing them with anybody through the internet on our website.
And you have a video where you share 6 different stories of people. I know we've got a little piece of it that we want to share with you now.
I kept a smile on my face. I did everything that needed to be done with my children, with my husband, my family, and everything was just okay.
Eventually got to a point where I literally couldn't do anything. I was ritualizing and having these thoughts and ritualizing almost literally 24 hours a day.
For almost 3 years, I didn't talk about it. I didn't bring it up. I was wearing a mask, and that was so self-destructive.
And I knew that I either had to die or get help. So I decided to get help in day treatment.
You have like this feeling in the pit of your stomach. It was just like, you just feel horrible, like all the time. And I feel so much better, like that pit in the bottom of my stomach is gone.
My story, I would like to think, offers hope for some people who might be living with it and they don't have the courage to come out and find help.
And isn't there something to be said about putting a face to it? And I mean, a lot of the people in that video look like my neighbor or my friend or a beautiful daughter or a cute kid at the end who looks cool, like you'd want to hang. I mean, people that you can identify with.
Absolutely, absolutely. And all of those are just snippets of their stories. You can hear, we summarize them into about 3 minutes or less, but you can see the rest of their story if you go to the website.
And do most of them have depression, or not necessarily just depression?
That clip had a range from schizoaffective disorder to severe OCD to depression, just the whole range
Bipolar
of
even?
bipolar disorder.
And where can people see more of these stories?
So rogersinhealth.org is the website that we've just launched, so it's a little rough, but it's there and you can see the stories. And we will just continue to populate that website with video clips that anyone can use, free and accessible, so that we can share them with our mother or our friends. We can use them professionally if we want to help people get to know the hope of recovery.
There's so much more we could talk about, so I'm glad that you were here, but I want everybody to go to your website to be able to take a look at that video, share it with people who you love. It's rogersinhealth.org, once again, for more on those videos. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
It's so great. Thanks, Sue.